Right, 24 December 2024, and today is just one day before Christmas, and it's been a great week. A lot has happened this week, and we're entering the very last week of the year. So this year has been one of the most eventful years. We've done a lot, and personally myself, I've seen a lot of growth in this year, and I'm looking at a 2025 that is going to be very, very interesting. However, what is happening in Zimbabwe right now is scary. So over the past week, a lot of people have died. So we've had 19 deaths right now as we speak. That is people that have died due to accidents. So a lot of accidents are taking place in Zimbabwe because of a number of reasons. One of the biggest reasons why people are having accidents in Zimbabwe is because of poor roads. So the roads in Zimbabwe are very bad. If you are driving, there are a number of things that you need to do, and you need to avoid one special thing. That one thing is don't travel at night. So if you can get that right, you reduce your chance of having an accident by almost 99%. Traveling at night is the worst thing that you can ever do if you are in Zimbabwe. That is because the roads are dark, the animals on the road, and also basically you get sleepy when you're over there driving at night. So very, very important not to travel at night. And also there are other advices that have been given by the Zimbabwe Traffic Safety Board here. So if you check out, they're saying don't drink and drive, avoid the use of cell phones, ensure your vehicle is roadworthy, obey road signs and markings, check your tires for tire pressure, invest in a reflective triangle, take frequent rest breaks, invest in a fire extinguisher, and obey the speed limit. So the most important thing here that I can see, take frequent rest breaks and also have a lot of coffee. So if you are traveling in Zimbabwe, it's very hard to find good coffee. So try to bring your own coffee, and then you have a flask. When you need to rest, you can have a bit of coffee once in a while. And also don't sleep in your car. Most Zimbabweans, they like to sleep in their cars in the border. Don't do that. Go and sleep at a proper hotel so that you're properly rested and you'll be fine. So this is the 19 people who have died already since the beginning of this past few weeks. So this December, we've had a lot of accidents already. So now I want to go into our story. So our main story is what is happening to General Chiwenga. This week is going to be critical in the politics of Zimbabwe. As we go into 2025, you are going to see something very big taking place, and I've given you the date of 27 December. So you see, Kuti, we're not backing down on that 27 December date. It's not internal consistency. You're going to see what is going to happen in Zimbabwe within these next few days. A lot is going to happen. By the end of this year, you're going to see something very, very big. And we're likely going to visit the Heroes Acre very, very soon. So now let me look at what has happened to Chiwenga. Chiwenga has been traveling, and unfortunately for him, for Chiwenga, there has been a massive media blackout ordered by Mnangagwa. So anything to do with Chiwenga is not published on any state newspaper or television station. So everything to do with Chiwenga is being blacked out. I saw that Chiwenga was traveling with the kids and also with Colonel Miniotabo. I don't know when these photos were taken, but they were in India. And something very, very interesting that you must see here. If you look here, you will see Stella Nkomo there on the right. She is the Zimbabwe ambassador to India. You will see that if you go to your social media platforms, you are not going to see any pictures of her with Chiwenga. She didn't post that. She posts other things, but she will never post a picture of herself with Chiwenga. She also didn't post pictures of herself with Tatenda Mavetera. I showed you that last month. There is a massive blackout on anyone who is expected or suspected of being a Chiwenga person. So this is big. It's a big thing that is happening. So I want to show you, for example, that is Stella Nkomo's Twitter here. So you'll see that she last posted on 16 November, and then she pinned something from July here. So she will never post anything to do with Chiwenga. She also posted in November about the, I think this was Miss, this was Sakine here. And you know that Kenan Minotabo was heavily involved in this, but she will never post it. So people are afraid to post anything about Chiwenga because they are afraid of what can happen. There is a big blackout. All the newspapers don't report about where Chiwenga is or what he's doing because there is that open blackout which says don't publish anything to do with Chiwenga. And this started in November when Chiwenga had one of his biggest months. When he opened schools, he went and presented in Victoria Falls. I think he was even in Kariba, in all these places. So Chiwenga was very prominent in November. And then they put out this big blackout on him in the media. So if you look in the media, this past month, all you're going to see is Mnangagwa and Auxilia. So Mnangagwa, Auxilia. That is what you're going to see in the newspapers. So let's see how that goes. But I think 2025 will be a very trying year for Chiwenga, how he moves and how he builds his team. It's going to be very, very important if he wants to become the president. Because the way it is going right now, and as I showed you yesterday, there are other plans to put other people ahead of Chiwenga. So that is our headline for today. Massive blackout on General Chiwenga, and also even on Minotabo. Unfortunately for the people who try to put a blackout on Minotabo, I think she's done very well in terms of Facebook. If you go to Facebook, you'll see that she's got a very big sort of like daily update that she gives on her social media. So she's very good with social media. I've been browsing her Facebook here on a daily basis, and I see that she's got quite a number of Facebook pages. So in fact, let's go into some of her Facebook pages and posts. It's very interesting for me to watch these guys who use social media and who are prominent, because it tells me what kind of thinking these guys have got and what is important to them. So take for example here, I want to go to the very top. What has Minotabo been doing? So I went to one of her accounts. So that is Mini Baloi here. So she's with the kids in gym. She is in gym. She broke a leg. Here, I don't know what happened to her leg, but she somehow broke a leg. And then you can see her. She's on a bike. She is in Victoria Falls. That was on 17th December. She was in Victoria Falls. And then you can see her again with she took a school over there. Then I think I saw her running here. She is actually running while she is injured. So let's see what happened here. This was her running over here. I hope you can see that my screen is a bit small. Amazing stuff. Right, so I've shown you guys what she is up to. So she's able to put her message across. And the point is, where is Chiwenga putting his message across? And I think it's important for Chiwenga to have some sort of social media where he puts his message out. Going into 2025, that would be important for Chiwenga to put out his message. Mnangagwa has got a bunch of newspapers. He's got SANU-PF Instagram accounts. He's got Zim Celebs. He's got a bunch of things that he does to put his message out. And Chiwenga is currently not really active on social media. And I think it's easy to black out someone like that, because you just shut down his access to the Herald, to ZBC, and immediately people won't know where he is. So I think it's important for him or for Chiwenga, General Chiwenga or Vice President Chiwenga to put up some form of social media which is updated regularly as a way of campaigning and as a way of going into his presidential ambitions or whatever he plans to do. Because obviously, if you're going to be the president of Zimbabwe, your communications must be top notch and your program must be clear, your plan must be, and strategy must be clear. You must show that you are someone with a good plan and people must know what you're doing. So if Chiwenga was to go to Vic Falls, we want to see Chiwenga in a t-shirt. Has anyone ever seen Chiwenga in a t-shirt? I think he wears a suit everywhere he goes. Let's see what he was doing in India. I want to just check out maybe a safari suit. I don't know. Yeah, but this is interesting for me, like to observe what Chiwenga was wearing, a safari suit over there. I think that is the military style. And I see Kuti, the boy is always near to Minotaur. She's probably very close. He's very close to her. You can see everywhere he's walking, and also there by the gym, they're together. And if I'm not mistaken, right at the back there, you can see some church people. Yeah, those collars there. And I think that's Stella Nkomo right there at the back. And I don't know if these are embassy officials. And I don't know what the dead guy is, who is in the casket. I don't like watching dead guys in caskets. So I don't know who's that guy who is in the casket lying there. So very interesting. It's a blackout, but Chiwenga doing very well in terms of attention. He gets a lot of attention. I do not know, though, whether I can translate that attention into something significant going into 2025. Now, let's go to other important stuff. Mnangagwa is... I'm not going to attack Mnangagwa anymore. I promised not to, so I won't do it. That is because they've released the people they arrested. So I promised before they released them that after that, I won't attack Mnangagwa. So Mnangagwa was yesterday presented with a pangolin. A pangolin is an animal that is very rare. And when we were kids, my grandfather, not the great Kambakwe, my grandfather, my body, he used to receive these pangolins. So people would come with the pangolins to our home and would play with the pangolins after people brought them, because when you find the pangolin, you must leave it to the headman or the chief. So they would bring it to a grandfather, and then he would take it. I don't know where he would take it to, but he would take it somewhere. But I spent a while, some time with pangolins myself. So I've been fortunate enough to spend some time with the pangolins. And what happens with the pangolin? It's a very shy animal. It's very scary. And I guess when you're kids, touching an animal is easy. But most animals are actually like people. So I think the people who've got dogs, they know what I'm talking about. An animal has got a character. And the funny thing about the pangolin is it doesn't have a character. It is like, it does what it likes. And it just mostly hangs around and like rolls itself up in a ball. So you can see here that this headman, Clive Mabusha Chimbi, brought the pangolin to Mnangagwa. And I think this was the State House. And she spent a while with that pangolin. And then obviously they've handed it back to the national parks over there. The biggest problem with these pangolins is that the Chinese guys are coming and they're taking them. So I hope that no one is going to sell the pangolin. What happens with the pangolin is when you meet a pangolin, it takes a number of steps. So let's say it takes 10 steps. Those are your 10 good years of luck. If you do something against the pangolin, then you've got bad luck for a number of years. And if you're in the raw areas, you get punished by the chief. So Mnangagwa has done this. Very interesting stuff. I don't know why Mnangagwa was not here. I also don't know why the chief has sent this to Auxilia Mnangagwa. What was the purpose? But this is what happened yesterday. Then we've got a very trending story here of musician Clive Malunga. He's gone hard against Mnangagwa. In ED 2030, he says Mnangagwa won't get to 2026. Vote will strike Mnangagwa hard before the end of 2026. So let's see what this is all about. There is something big happening behind the scenes. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't understand. There is no benefit to what Mnangagwa is doing now. His leadership is weak. Mnangagwa has got no plan. He's got no strategy. And young people just want change. So they want a new president. I saw Superman Wanzira yesterday speaking about the third term, echoing the same thing that was said by Jennifer Mswere. And these guys are lost. Superman Wanzira is damaging his reputation by supporting something so evil like a third term of Mnangagwa. No one wants that, and no one cares about Mnangagwa. Honestly, I just think that this situation cannot continue. It's unbearable, and people want something to happen, and to happen very, very quickly. So anyone who is supporting a third term, they're an enemy of the people. So Superman Wanzira is an enemy of the people. Now, Daniel Chapo has been declared the president of Mozambique with 65% of the vote. Venancio Mondlane with 24% of the vote. And the former president of Mozambique has started negotiations with Venancio Mondlane. So we're probably going to be looking at the government of national unity over there in Mozambique, because I think the former president of Mozambique is a reasonable guy. He's not a guy that is difficult to deal with. And if you know Mozambicans have got a nice character. They're nice people, and they are quite agreeable most of the time. So I hope that something is worked out here. The situation in Mozambique is unbearable after the rigging by ZANU-PF. And as I said, the next 20 days, very important to watch. 15 January, there's supposed to be the inauguration of Daniel Chapo, and Venancio Mondlane is called for 5 days of protest. Mozambicans have become very active. The dogs have been let out. You cannot put back what has happened in Mozambique. People are not going to be docile anymore, and the government has to compromise, especially Daniel Chapo here. He has to compromise. He has to move very fast to deal with the situation in the country, because the Mozambican government is losing a lot of money through these protests that are taking place, and the country is no longer an attractive tourism destination because of that situation. Then a prominent lawyer, Brains Muchemwa, you remember we posted this video. This was the most popular video of Brains Muchemwa. It's not Brains, it's Brains Muchemwa. Brains Muchemwa has been having a problem with his wife for a long time. So he's a prominent lawyer, and he has gone to court to try to get custody of his kids. However, he has lost that case. So prominent lawyer Brains Muchemwa has lost this court case, where he was forcing ZAOGA to release the kids. He was saying ZAOGA is holding them hostage. But the court has ruled that this is not true. The children are safe with their mother, and the church is allowing officials to see the kids. So prominent lawyer, very bad situation with his wife. And if you cannot control your home, I do not think you are a prominent person. You should be able to control the things in your house so that they don't go outside. I don't know why prominent guys can't control their situation, and then it ends up blowing up into the public domain. Then we have Adams Mapingire. So if you got the Chronicle newspaper of yesterday, you see that Adams Mapingire is the guy who built, who designed this church, the HHICC in Bulawayo, the biggest church in the country, which has got a lot of features. This young man has done something amazing. He's the one who designed this building. He is being acclaimed all over Zimbabwe as someone who designed something so beautiful and so nice, and something that came to reality. So, guys, one thing I can tell you, if you build something, you are a special kind of person. Very few people can build. So, if you build a company, if you build a building, if you build or design something from zero, from nothing to something, you are a special kind of person. And this young man, Adams Mapingiri, has designed this building from scratch, and it has got gyms, it's got restaurants, it's got a lot of features. And I think the guys in Bulawayo, someone must go do a video on this building so that you can see what exactly is inside there right now. It's amazing, and he has designed it all from scratch. So a young Zimbabwean guy has done it, and he's being obviously featured in many, many newspapers for what he's done here. So very interesting. And then let's see if I've got other stories here that I want to cover. We are seeing Mtulingume's office. They are mourning the passing of one of their members here from Bulawayo, prominent member of the Bulawayo office. So I'm trying to find that picture of Sylvester Chirao, who died in a car accident. So guys, as I said, be very careful when you're driving in Zimbabwe. Zimbabwean roads are a death trap. You die for no reason in Zimbabwe. So Sylvester Chirao has died in a car accident. You can go check this out on the Ministry of Industry and Commerce website. Then there's been major developments in the ZIFA presidential race. Magaya has been disqualified. I told you guys that Magaya cannot ever be a ZIFA chairman or president. So on your screen are the people that have qualified. At the center there, at the top, that guy is the ZANU PF guy. So that guy there is the ZANU PF guy who is going to be backed by ZANU. However, on your right is Makwinji Somapiri. I hope that is the same guy. He was in Teramos and Highlanders. This is the guy that I'm backing now that Benjani is out. Benjani was disqualified. Temba Mliso was disqualified. Magaya was disqualified. So we are left with these guys here. And besides Twain Piri, the only other person that knows soccer here is Makwinji Piri. You can also see that there's no Peter over here, which is crazy because I thought Peter was going to contest, but I guess he was convinced to step down by Magaya or by one of the other guys here. They convinced him not to contest. So what a loss for Zimbabwe that we don't have Peter over here. I would have loved to see Peter over here, but right now Makwinji Piri, that is the only guy who knows soccer here, and Twain Piri. The rest of the guys, I don't know if they know soccer at all. They look to me like business people or suits. Do you see the only people here who know soccer are right here at the top? Marshall Gore is just a ZANU-PF guy from the UK. He's got a lot of backing, and he was in one of the factions. So I don't know which factions, the Chiwenga faction or the Mnangagwa faction, but I know that he was very prominent in the faction of fighting in ZANU-PF in the UK. So this is what is happening right now in terms of the presidential race of ZIFA. And the election, I think it's going to be on the 25th of January. So that is when we're going to know who is going to be the next president of ZIFA. This position is bigger than the president of Zimbabwe. Literally, if you're the president of ZIFA, you are bigger than the president of Zimbabwe. You're international, that is first of all. Secondly, you are in the face of people every day or every week, and people love you. No one criticizes you because in soccer, people are fanatical about soccer. That is why you see people wanting to be the president of ZIFA. And I hope that Makwinji will start launching a proper campaign because people will support him for all that is done in Teramos and Highlanders. So he is well placed, this guy, to do well. And I hope that he does a proper campaign. He gets a team. This job is got serious money. So don't play. The 6 guys here are in one of the best races that you can ever be in. Then let's go to ZEC. So the ZEC CEO, Chief Elections Officer, Ushoile Silai Gwana, has resigned or has stepped down or has been fired. I don't know which one, but he's been sent to the Zimbabwe Prison Services Commission. So he's left a big position to go to a nothing position in the Zimbabwe Prison Services there. So it's an important position in terms of it needs to be fixed. The prison in Zimbabwe needs to be fixed. But in terms of his qualifications, this guy's got a master's in electoral management from Spain, Italy or Spain, one of those. So I don't know why you would put him in prisons. So it's a massive demotion. The person that should be removed is Chugumba, but they're keeping him over there and leaving and taking out this guy. I don't care much about the guys at ZEC. I think we need better people at ZEC, but at the moment, this is what has happened. Now let's look at the newspapers. I want to quickly look at the newspapers, and I want to start with the Chronicle newspaper. Normally the Chronicle has some of the most interesting stories on the ground. So let's see what's happening there. And I'm also following the story of Mohadi. What is happening with Mohadi? Is Mohadi okay? Or is he just about to come back home? Then let's go to it's Chronicle newspaper is not published. Let me go to the website and see what is over there. Kutamangu Mohadi Mdara. Amudoni. 2025 name Chipo. Let's go to Chronicle website here. BCC spends 700,000 on roads annually. Guys, have you seen the roads in Kulumane? I used to stay in Kulumane when the SEPAP started. So if you go to the clinic of Kulumane, there's a house right at the corner, opposite the clinic. That was our first house. Some guys bought it and they extended that house. So if you live in that house, shout out to you. That was my house, my first house. So the first house at the corner opposite the Kulumane clinic, that is where we used to live, on the main road. And the roads were so amazing. They were beautiful. You used to walk nicely. I used to walk all the way to school at Induta, and I would walk nicely. When I went back to Kulumane, it was a mess. It was gravel everywhere. It was dust everywhere. And the Bulawayo 6 Council is spending 700,000 on roads. Which roads are they spending this? Are they even cutting the grass? I was so shocked when I went last time and I passed by Bellevue, and there was so much grass over there. And I was like, can't they find some youngsters and give them some slashes and say, every morning come and cut grass? You see, all those guys who are now on substances, just ask them to cut grass in Belmont. All those big companies that are there in Bulawayo, can they find $50 to pay the community to cut their grass and make the place look good? So that was the situation in Bulawayo. I also used to work in Belmont, just near Dunlop there, and it used to be good. So now I'm surprised that Bulawayo is saying they're spending 700,000 on roads over here. What else is of interest here? 50 kgs gold loaded carbon stolen at gunpoint. So there's a lot of theft taking place of gold. So this has happened. 50 kgs of gold stolen in Bulawayo. What else is of interest here? Okay, I want to take you to tourism. So I want to end with tourism. Guys, our country is a disaster. So tourists have totally deserted Zimbabwe, like totally left. There is no person who's normal who's going to go to a country where the water is full of sewage. So this is the situation right now. And you can go and check this out in the Chronicle newspaper. So out of all the tourists of Zimbabwe, we've got only, let's say in total, about 100,000 visitors, right? I hope there's a percentage. So it's not thousands, it's percentage. So 63% of all tourists coming into Zimbabwe are Zimbabweans. There is no one else coming except Zimbabweans. And then we've got people in transit and visitors from abroad. That includes all the business delegations, the tourists, the sports teams. It's 26%. And there's no immigrant. No one wants to immigrate to Zimbabwe. How crazy is that? What kind of a country is that? And then if you look at the purpose of the people that are coming, the Zimbabweans, 47% are coming on holiday, 26% are just going to another country, and 18% are doing business, 5% are shopping, and 2% are on education. So what we need to do with our country, we need to fix the Victoria Falls. That is very important. The Victoria Falls must be like Cape Town. So if you go to Cape Town, most of the activities taking place there is tourism. How do you fix that? You put a lot of nice hotels, you put a lot of activities, and you also make sure that the infrastructure is great and there is a lot of accommodation. At the moment, that is lacking. Do you know that 99.9% of the people in Zimbabwe have never been to the Victoria Falls? The Victoria Falls is the most beautiful place you can ever go. But a lot of Zimbabweans don't go there. The road is bad. It's expensive. If you want to sleep at the Victoria Falls with your family, you must just budget $500. That is because it's so expensive over there. And it looks very bad when you go to National Timber. It's not a tourism destination. So we need to have a plan. You can't leave the planning for Victoria Falls in the hands of the guys at the Wange Road Council. That is like leaving your best assets in the hands of some of the people that you cannot say, okay, I don't even want to give it the name, but this is a national thing. So there must be a national plan for the Victoria Falls, not what is happening there right now. Right, I think I've covered this, and I'll cover a lot more when I come back tonight. We need to keep this going so that we don't lose the momentum. People are in the villages and they want to know what we're saying. So I'm also uploading most of our content on all our platforms, and we're sending also stuff to the raw areas. I want to just check if anything new is happening in South Africa, and let's go and look at the Star newspaper. So the Star newspaper of South Africa. So what is the big stories in the Star newspaper? So I'm going to walk through this newspaper with you, and let's see what is there. Okay, so in terms of the Star newspaper, they are saying here, and I want to check, warning of hits spooks health department. So a hit is when someone sends someone to kill you. So that is a warning of hits spooks health department. So Dakela said to be behind campaign but denies accusations. So Department of Health employees are concerned for their safety and uncertain about returning to the office next year, according to sources. The message also mentioned Ayanda Dakela, who, according to ex-profile, is an experienced, qualified mechanical engineer. So Aaron Motsaledi and the Director General Sabelo Buthelezi are on a list of some sort. Someone wants to take them out. So I don't know, guys, what this is all about. South Africa being South Africa, whoever does the hit is going to be caught and someone is going to be sent to jail. So basically, that is what it is. I don't know what all this hitting is about, especially in these departments. So let me tell you about my old job. So long back, I used to be a forensic investigator, and we used to work for one of the big companies in South Africa. And one of our cases was in KZN. So this was a cyber attack. So what these guys used to do, so the government has got a lot of money. The South African government has got a lot of money. So what these guys used to do is, during lunchtime, the managers would leave their offices. And the payment system was so weak that someone could log in and authorize the payment. So they installed some software on the manager's computers. And when the manager was at lunch, they would monitor him as he walked out. And then they would remotely log on his computer and they'll make a payment using an ID, so someone else's ID or login. And then they will log remotely and approve the payment, and the money will go out. And the manager will not have a way of knowing that the payment has been done using his ID. So a guy came and he reported this thing and said, such and such a person and such a person are the ones who are doing it. And obviously the department, which I won't mention, went and reported one of the big 4 companies, and the contract was given. So every morning I would drive with one guy and we would go there to investigate what exactly happened, which computer did they log in, and where did they connect. And in that month, the people who were supposed to have caused that investigation, or who were supposed to have reported, one of them was knocked off or killed in the house. Someone just jumped over the wall and really killed them. And then another guy was pouring petrol at the filling station. Someone went to knock them off right there, and they died. And then the third guy said, "No, I'm not having anything to do with this thing," and disappeared. So the whole case went away. So that is how it happens for South Africa. There is a lot of money in the system. I'm talking about millions and millions of monies. In fact, there is one department which lost over R1 billion to fraud. So very dangerous to the future of the country. And these kind of things, they're not jokes when you see these kind of things happening. However, in the whole countries, in the whole of South Africa, the departments of health have got the most money. In fact, departments of health in South Africa almost carry all the other provincial governments departments. So South Africa is made up of different departments, regional provincial governments, and mostly the Department of Health is the one that is carrying the other departments because they make so much money, and the budget almost comes from people paying for bills, hospital stays, medical aid. So they make a lot of money. It's almost like running a huge company if you're in these departments. Right, I think I've covered everything here that I wanted to cover. H Metro still hasn't published. My brother Sharuko Gonasi's writer say, "As my now that we don't have H Metro, maybe all our artists have gone home. But as you know, Madam Boss, I saw her in hospital. So that is crazy. Our guys are covering this story. So let me show you the picture. Madam Boss in hospital after surgery. So let me see if I can find a picture of Madam Boss in hospital here. Yes, I found one. So Madam Boss is in hospital. I don't know if it's an advert or if it's real, because you know these people manage adverts in must keep. So she is in hospital, and according to the article that is posted on Gambakwe, she's been operated on the stomach, and I do not know what that is all about. That is something that I also have to follow up and find out what is going on. So it seems like a lot of people have been visiting her in hospital. You know that in 2020 there was a death prophecy on her in my titi. So imagine if my titi was in hospital. That would be crazy. That one is crazy. So anyway, that is all I had for today. Let's recap and let's look at the comments. We said that there's a massive blackout on Chiwenga, on any media. So Chiwenga not to be published in any media, any state media. Anything Chiwenga does is not published. And also, people are afraid of associating themselves in the media with Chiwenga. For example, I would say here, Stella Nkomo, she was with Chiwenga in India, but she never published that picture on the profiles. And similarly, Mnangagwa has had to start publishing herself on her own social media platforms. And we said Chiwenga at the moment has no social media and he needs to work on social media. Mnangagwa is the master of social media. His son, Collins, is running a massive media program, disinformation campaign. He's running Instagram, he's running Zim Celebs, and Mnangagwa has bought a massive number of newspapers from Trevor Ngube through his son-in-law. And so, media-wise, Chiwenga will have to do a lot of work. If the time comes when he needs to put out his message, he needs a good social media strategy because the attention on Chiwenga is very high. There is no one who doesn't watch Chiwenga content. If we put out Chiwenga content, it's the most watched content on our channel. So people are very interested in what Chiwenga does, but they have successfully blocked him from any state media. He's not in any state media except what Mnangagwa is doing. That is the only social media that they're getting over there. So I think this is great, and I hope that this guy is safe. Clive Malunga, he came out very hard against Mnangagwa, saying 2026 Mnangagwa anenge asipo. Very crazy guy. I don't know what brought him into that. And then Mgoma Farai, no, you must go to Big Force. I'm going to invite you. We are setting up our homecoming project in Victoria Falls, 100,000 to 1 million houses. That is our plan. And I'm going to invite you at my cost next year. Mgoma Mike said, Gaba going to last visit Blawayo. Quartet is doing a good job. Yes, CBD. You know that I stay in the CBD, right? So I know about the CBD. They're doing a great job. But let's go to Nkulumane. Just fix Nkulumane, please. Nkulumane 12, fix Quadri Park. Let's go outside of those big areas. I think most of you saw what Mtuli Ngube did yesterday. I think yesterday he went to Matopo. Mtuli Ngube was campaigning in Quadri Park. Go back to Quadri Park and fix. Go back to Pumola. Pumola. Go there and fix. And go and fix into Bane. Go and fix Makokoba. Go and fix the low density of Bulawayo are like a dump. Like the new low density of Bulawayo. They've got no roads. Guys, that makes no sense. If you've got a tender to make a SEPA, you must also fix the roads. So these guys are not fixing the roads. Who do they think is going to fix the roads? And then Branda. No, as in Branda. If you are playing soccer for a country, you can become a president of Ziva, but it's going to be hard for him because of that, what you mentioned there. Did you guys know something? Let me tell you something crazy that happened during this race. There's a guy called Farai Jere. So Mkoma is just reminded here. Farai Jere was disqualified. The reason why he was disqualified is because he used his old name, Farai Mutumbo, which he changed in 2002. So it makes no sense that you change your name. And then when you're contesting for Ziva president, you take the same name that you changed and you use it because you don't have any other certificates. Between 2002 and 2024, Farai Jere, he failed to do other certificates or to change certificates. That is crazy and amazing. Right, I would like to thank all of you for watching, and I'll try to be back here tonight. Today is what we call Christmas Eve, so let's try to be up here tonight. International Jonas has put out certain content on what he thinks is going to happen, and I think we'll just put it out because that is very interesting. What did they know? What do they think is going to happen? Very, very interesting analysis, and I'm going to put it out later today. Then tonight we'll come back and talk about business and about what we're planning to do. So let's go to Mumve. As I said, we're adding a new package to Mumve. 1 liter engine turns to 3 liters, 1 kickstart, and you don't have to crank it. So when I think about this advert, it makes me laugh. You don't have to crank it. So if you're having problems and you need solutions and you're a man, get your packet, WhatsApp this number. There is no man that won't benefit from Mumve. And as I said, we've added 3 new products on top of the Mumve, all of them natural products, all of them food. So all the stuff that we're giving you is food, it's not medical. And we're going to be obviously adding the water, clean water, water filtration, and we're going to see it in our men's clinic in Harare. Early January, we're going to have opened already. I'd like to thank all of you for watching, and a good day.